Detecting a zero cross for the MACD signal can be a really powerful way to level up your Expert Advisor. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to add it to your code. The MACD is a really popular indicator and traders love it for the amount of information that it gives them. One of the most popular pieces of information is the zero cross of the signal line, which I won't get into the details of what it is, but it is really helpful. Adding it to your code can actually be kind of challenging if you haven't done it before, but in this episode, I'm going to show you how to save hours and hours and hours of research by just following what I've done. So let's get into it. There's a few things that you need in order to complete this episode. Firstly, it's really helpful to make sure you've got a basic MetaTrader 5 Expert Advisor set up and running. The OnInit, DInit and OnTick functions can be super helpful. Now if you check out my GitHub repository, you'll see that I've got tons of examples of this, including the video that you're about to watch. Join it and have a look at it if that's going to help you. Secondly, I strongly recommend all of my YouTube watchers to make sure that you've got a MetaTrader 5 terminal right there beside you as you're building. Not only can it be a lot of fun as you build things, but it also gives you feedback straight away as to whether what you're doing actually works. When you've got those things, head on over and I'll show you the code. You can see here that I've already got the basic signals in there, the OnInit, OnDInit and OnTick functions. So let's see if we can detect a MACD signal zero cross. We'll start by adding in some input parameters. We'll add in our fast EMA, our slow EMA, and our signal SMA. If you're wondering where I'm getting these awesome autocompletes from, then check out my episode on building your own GPT-4 powered development environment. It'll really help you a lot. Now we're going to add in our function. It's going to return one of three values and an error value. So the three values are no cross, below zero and above zero, and it will also return an error if that comes up as well. So that's going to be a string. So here's our MACD signal zero cross function. First thing we have to do is create a buffer for the MACD. I have no idea why this is a requirement, but it is if you're using MetaTrader 5. Handle for it. So here we're using our underscore symbol underscore period. That means it'll work on whatever chart we attach it to, and then we add in the input parameters that we had before. So we have our fast EMA, slow EMA, signal EMA, and our price close. And we want to check that the handle actually came back valid. So if that's an invalid handle, then we print that it's an invalid handle. Assuming that that works, we're going to copy the MACD buffer. And here, we want to get three values, and we'll go through that in a minute. And we also want to retrieve this as number 1. 0 is actually the histogram, and 1 will be the signal value. To calculate it, we need to get the most previous close, and we also need to get the second most previous close, so double. And these values will just be comparing them in several different ways to determine if a zero cross has happened. We'll do this by comparing these two values, so here's how we do that. The second previous MACD is less than 0 and then the previous MACD is greater than 0, then we can say that the MACD signal has crossed 0. We'll do a little print statement to be fun, and if that works we'll say above 0. So far so good. Now let's add in to determine if it's crossed below 0. It's pretty much the opposite of what we just did. So if the second previous MACD is greater than 0 here, and then the previous one is below 0, then we know that it's crossed below 0, so we can return that. The default then is going to be a no cross
there. And just for making sure that we get it on our terminal, we can print this value. We can say no MACD signal 0 cross. Let's add this in here. Save it. Let's compile it. No issues with the compiling, which is great given this is a YouTube channel on how to do something. We'll add it in here. Let me just refresh my YouTube. Yeah. Here's our MACD signal 0 cross. Get rid of this. See our inputs. Add here. You can see that we've got no cross, so we're in a good place. And if I ran it long enough, it would cross and you'd be able to see that. How good is that?